Good morning, children. Sairam. Today we'll have a poem number 14, Amma by Tabish Khair. Before I start, I want you to sit with a pen and notebook to jot down the important points which I will be telling you, okay, the meanings which I will be telling you while teaching the poem. Before I actually start with the poem, let us know about the poet who has written this poem. Tabish Khair is an Indian English author and associate professor in the Department of English, University of Aarhus in Denmark. His books include Babu Fictions, The Bus Stopped, which was shortlisted for the Encore Award UK, and his poem Birds of North Europe won the first prize in the 6th The Poetry Society competition held in India 1995. His Where Parallel Lines Meet is a collection of poems that raise the dilemma of identity and quest for cultural roots in the contemporary age of globalization. The poem Amma is from this collection. Grandparents are extremely rich folks with silver in their hair and gold in their hearts. What does it mean? They are having a rich experience of their life and they are very loving, isn't it? Don't you love your grandparents? Yes, you do. So, they are so loving. Let's have a poem for them, a tribute to them. Grandmas and grandpas are everything nice, like presents and candy and raspberry ice, and chocolate fudge sundaes with cherries on top, and popcorn and peanuts and grape and soda pop. In winter or summer, in rain or in sun, grandmas and grandpas are wonderful fun. This poem, Amma, is a simple poem about a child and his grandmother. It is a tribute to his grandmother. The poet is nostalgic about his childhood. The poet describes his dilapidated, that is old and broken, ancestral house in the metaphoric association with his old grandmother. Now let's start with the poem Amma. Down the stairs of this house, where plaster flakes and falls, through the intimate emptiness of its rooms and hall, I hear your slow footsteps, grandmother, echo or pause. Down the stairs of this house, where plaster flakes and falls. Here, whose house is the poet talking about? This is his grandmother's house, his ancestral house. Okay, and why does the plaster flakes and falls? Because the house is very old. It peels off, the plaster is peeling off. Okay, through the intimate emptiness of its rooms and hall. Why intimate emptiness? Here, through the empty rooms and hall, he could feel the presence of his grandmother, though she is no more. I hear your slow footsteps, grandmother, echo or pause. Here, when the house is empty, what happens? You find a echo sound coming out, isn't it? But here, he is talking about the echoing footsteps in his memory. The poet is talking about the footsteps of the slow footsteps of his grandmother, which echoes in his memory. Let's see the literary devices used in this poem. It is a free verse. That means there is no rhyme scheme and no rhyming words, but figures of speech the poet has used. Let's see. Down the stairs of this house where plaster flakes and falls. What is it? Yes, it is alliteration. Sound of F is repeated. Here, the poet has used imagery. Imagery is the poet's use of language to help the reader understand what is being described. So here the poet has used imagery to 5 senses, that is smell, touch, sound, taste and sight. So imagery of sound is the slow footsteps of his grandmother, right? As they used to through long summer afternoons spent within the watered down 4 walls of Kush and fragile drinks of ice, mango or lemon, the circle of watermelon crescents. Here he talks about the long summer afternoons, the hot afternoons which he had spent in the ancestral house. And he talks about the watered down 4 walls of Kush. Kush is a fragrant grass. The roots of these grass are used to make curtains, and these are put up on the open doorways and windows, and water is spread on them. So when the breeze passes through this wet Kush, it gives a cool breeze. It reduces the temperature of the room and a sweet fragrance. He talks about fragile drinks, that is sweet flavored drinks of mango, lemon and the watermelon crescents. Let's have the picture. Yes, you have the curtains, okay, the Kush curtains, the drinks and the watermelon crescents. So here the poet has used imagery of taste and sight. Slowly you shuffle, examining each new tear in the curtains, which will have to be mended when the first monsoon rain provides a respite from sun, curtails a need for shade. Here the poet talks about his grandmother, how she used to inspect the torn curtains. She has to wait till the first monsoon rain, because though the curtains are torn, they provide a respite from sun. They stop the heat of the sun. So she has to wait till the monsoon arrives. Let's see the literary devices used in this stanza. Slowly you shuffle, examining each new tear in the curtains. Alliteration. The sound of S is repeated. Provides a respite from sun. Curtails the need for shade. Sun, shade. So S, sound. So sound of S is repeated. Slowly on arthritic joints you move from room to room, marking the damage of the years, evaluating how soon the past will collapse or how long the present lasts. Here the poet talks about his grandmother, who used to slowly move from one room to another due to arthritic pains, that is joint pain. His grandmother used to mark the damage of the years, that is find out what damage the passing of the years have done to this house. Evaluating means inspecting or trying to find out how soon the past will collapse. Now here past means the summer time when the children used to come in the house during the summer holidays. When will the past collapse? when the children will stop coming, or how long the present lasts. Present last means or how long she will be alive, or the house will last. Slowly on arthritic joints, you move from room to room. What is the figure of speech used here? Repetition. The word room is repeated. You never need glasses to mark the contours of your house, though you can't see grandsons at a distance. Once wore a blouse inside out. Nothing has changed, grandmother. No, not yet. What's the meaning of contour? An outline representing the shape or form of something. Here the poet says that his grandmother never needed any glasses, that is, she never needed any specs to find out the rooms or to go about the rooms, because she was very much familiar with all the nook and corners of the house. But then she couldn't see her grandsons at a distance. Once she wore a blouse inside out. Nothing has changed, grandmother. That means, what has changed? Here, the grandmother's vision has changed. It is diminishing. The vision is diminishing. Nothing has changed, grandmother. No, not yet. What is the figure of speech used? Tautology. Nothing, no, not yet. Here it means the same. Though your collected steps never turn the corner into you, in a starched and white sari, the fragrance of soap around you, and all the curtains have long been taken down. Though your collected steps means though you are walking with effort will not make you practically visible, but the poet still feels the presence of her in the room. He remembers how white starched sari she used to wear, and the sweet fragrance of soap which used to linger around her. And all the curtains have long been taken down. That means no one has lived in this house for a long time. Though your collected steps never turn the corner into you, what is it? It is alliteration. So sound of C is repeated. Collected, corner. Then beautiful imagery of smell and sight are used. Fragrance, smell of soap and white starched sari. Right? Let's have the value points, children. This will help you to answer the questions. Now let's have the reference to context. One line is taken from the poem and some questions are asked. Down the stairs of this house where plaster flakes and falls. Whose house is it? The house belongs to the speaker's grandmother. Why does the plaster flakes and falls? The plaster flakes and falls because the house is very old. What does the speaker remember? He remembers his grandmother's echoing footsteps. With this, children, we come to an end of this session today. I hope you have understood the poem. There is a link after this video. So you have to click on the link and submit your answers. Thank you. Have a nice day.